To many Americans, 2022 was nothing short of an economic wasteland. Americans were dealt a multitude of economic blows, from sharply higher interest rates to a collapsing stock market to the highest inflation rates in over 40 years. Any one of these factors could cause economic damage to an average household, but for those exposed to all three, 2022 was something of a financial disaster. Heading into 2023, things aren't necessarily looking all that much better. The stock market still trades near its lows of the year, the Fed is still planning on raising interest rates well into 2023, and many pundits see a recession right around the corner. Some will say it's already here. Of course, no one can predict with any accuracy exactly what financial environment 2023 will bring. It's entirely possible that the Fed stops raising rates early in the year, inflation falls under control, the stock market begins its next bull leg, and recession is narrowly avoided. But regardless of what ultimately plays out, there are a number of smart money resolutions that you can make heading into 2023. Even if things start out on the wrong foot, it's important to remember that the economy is cyclical, and having your financial affairs in order can help you make it through to the other side. With a little bit of preparation, you may very well come out the other side of 2023 better than you did in 2022. Here are 10 of the smartest money resolutions to make in 2023. 10. Build a bigger emergency fund. Emergency funds were traditionally thought of as backstops for short-term financial difficulties. If you needed some cash for an unexpected car repair, a dental emergency, or a short-term job loss, for example, your emergency fund was the perfect source. However, 2022 demonstrated that negative economic factors can build on themselves rapidly, and that having extra cash around is never a bad thing. As many economists see a recession right around the corner in 2023, it's a great time to build an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months worth of income, or even 12 months if you can afford it. When the next financial calamity rears its ugly head, having up to a year of savings available to draw from could make your life a lot less stressful. 9. Diversify your income stream. One important economic lesson has been brought into sharp focus by the pandemic. Wherever possible, it pays to diversify your income stream. When you rely completely on one job or revenue stream for all of your income, you could face enormous financial pressure if that spigot is turned off. If you have the time or ability, taking on an additional part-time job or a side gig in addition to your primary work is a way to help diversify your income stream. For others, investing in rental real estate or other sources of passive income can be the best way to keep income flowing even if your primary source vanishes. 8. Pay yourself first. Many financial pundits and advisors recommend that you pay yourself first, but what exactly does that mean? Paying yourself first means that the moment you get your paycheck, you divert some of it toward your savings and investments. Then, you pay your bills and spend on discretionary items with what remains. The truth about human nature is that if you use your paycheck to live before you save, you'll most likely end the month without any money left over. While it's important to spend your paycheck on things like food, shelter, and bills, if you also use your money for shopping and going out to eat before you save, you'll likely find that you aren't saving as much as you should be. By paying yourself first, you ensure that you meet your savings goals every month. This type of preparation can be critical when the next financial crisis rolls around. 7. Watch your credit card spending. Credit cards are a useful tool, and many can provide benefits like travel rewards or cash back in addition to convenience. However, some Americans use credit cards as a bank account. If you aren't paying off the full amount of your credit card balance every month, you're likely negating the value of any perks or rewards you receive. For example, let's say you score a credit card that pays you 2% cash back on all your purchases. That sounds great, but if the card has a 19% interest rate, which is actually below the average credit card rate, your card is costing you an additional 17% on every purchase annually if you don't pay it off in full. Digging yourself into a 17% hole on everything you buy isn't financially prudent. Even worse, that interest is compounded, meaning your credit card debt would double about every 7 years if you don't pay it off. That's a recipe for financial disaster, particularly if we fall into a recession during 2023. 6. Don't forget the insurance. The guiding principle of insurance is to take a small, certain loss your insurance premium in exchange for protection against a catastrophic loss. For most Americans, this type of protection is absolutely essential, particularly during times of financial upheaval. Imagine if you lost your job and then your home was damaged and you had no homeowner's insurance. Or, in a true worst-case scenario, imagine if you're the breadwinner of your family and you suddenly pass away or become incapacitated. Without life or disability insurance, your family may not have the funds to go on. Although no one likes adding a monthly bill to their budget, if you're underinsured, find a way to get yourself covered. The peace of mind alone will help you if you ever face financial difficulties going forward. 5. Don't rush into buying a new home. Even though mortgage rates have fallen a bit from their highs of 2022, they still hover around the 6% mark. Combined with the booming prices of homes over the past few years, affordability is still near an all-time low. According to many economists, mortgage rates won't collapse anytime soon, but will likely in 2023 0.5% or more lower than current levels, particularly if there is a recession. Home prices, which have begun falling in many markets, will likely help affordability as well. As there are still very few homes for sale on a relative basis, the market will likely become more attractive in 2023 and or 2024 if you're in a position where you can wait to see it. 4. Maintain low spending levels. With many economists loudly ringing the bell about a recession coming in 2023, it's the perfect time to trim your budget. While no one wants to avoid spending money on the things they want, with inflation reaching its highest levels in over 40 years, this might be the time to reduce spending on overpriced items anyway, and if a recession is truly in the offing, lowering spending and building savings is a prudent course of action. Fortunately, wages have been on the rise coming out of the pandemic, so hopefully you're able to find a little room in your monthly for discretionary spending, because that is the best place to trim your budget heading into 2023. 3. Automate your savings. Setting up automated transfers is another way to help counteract human nature when it comes to money and savings. When we rely on ourselves to make regular money transfers, we can often come up with excuses or reasons why we can't do it just this month. But with automated transfers, the money is deposited in your savings without any effort on your part. Once you adjust to automated savings coming out of your account, you might find that you're able to adjust your lifestyle and comfortably live off less money. At that point, you might be able to slowly increase your monthly contributions, say in increments of an additional 1% per month or year. If and when the next financial crisis hits, you'll be glad that your automated savings program has built up a financial buffer for you. 2. Harvest tax losses. Unless you were one of the very best or luckiest investors of 2022, you likely saw lots of red on your account statements from positions that fell in value. Even some of the most popular names in the stock market, from Netflix and Amazon to Tesla and Meta platforms, fell more than 50% for the year, and in many cases even more from their all-time highs. In times like these, it's best to get some value from your losers by harvesting your tax losses. Since the IRS allows you to use realized losses to offset realized gains, simply selling your positions can generate big savings at tax time. Even if you don't have any profits to offset, you can use $3,000 of capital losses to offset ordinary income. Either way, it could keep hundreds or even thousands of dollars in your pocket when you file your taxes. If you do choose to harvest your tax losses, be sure to consult with a tax advisor so you can avoid a so-called wash sale. The IRS will disallow your tax loss if you buy the same or substantially similar security 30 days before or after you sell your losing position, so this is something you'll want to take extra steps to avoid. 1. Shop around for the best savings rates. The silver lining to sharply rising interest rates in 2022 is that savers finally got to earn some decent yields. Although the average savings rate according to the Federal Reserve was just 0.3% at the end of 2022, this was miles above the 0.05% seen just a few years earlier. But if you shop around, you can likely find online banks with no fees or minimums that pay 3.8% or even higher. This is more than 12 times the national average, and if rates continue to go higher in 2033, as the Federal Reserve has suggested they might, those savings rates will rise even more.